I wonder how long it is since you believed in magic. If it was way back when you were just a small child. Or maybe you still do believe in magic like me. I see it every day. It's all around. And you only have to look. There's even magic in the way that you can be so quiet, so still, looking as if you were sound asleep, and yet amazingly alert and aware behind those closed eyelids. Of course, it's not the stillness and the quietness that is magical, nor is it the closed eyelids. It's that amazing awareness. Nobody can even begin to properly explain what that is or how it works, even though we all know what it feels like. We all know how to send our thoughts to anywhere we want to. A part of our own body, the big toe perhaps, or the very top of our head. But our thoughts don't have to stay where our body is, because in an instant, in a dazzling flash, we can be thinking about something that happened years ago, or something that hasn't even happened yet. And that's a magical thing. How we can be in one place one moment in our thoughts, then 10,000 miles and many years away in the very next split second. Our thoughts moving faster even than the speed of light, faster than time itself, as if time did not exist. And we can even imagine something that nobody has ever experienced, just something that we can think of, like swimming in a silken sea of golden mist on a distant planet. We are so light we float in the atmosphere like a feather floating on the breeze. Or imagine starting in a crystal until you find a whole universe there. A universe where there are other lives and other beings with their own magical thoughts. And it's a sort of magic that lets you hear your name whispered quietly in a room full of people and noise and music when you weren't even paying attention. And there's a magic that is part of your body too, the magic that lets you see or hear something that isn't there, or that lets you stay alive without even trying. Without even having to try, your body does that so well. And the most brilliant scientists in the world cannot make even the most primitive form of life, and yet two very ordinary people can create the most complex form of life that ever existed in this world, on this planet. And that happens millions of times a day, every day. And that is definitely a sort of magic. And every single cell in the human body carries that very sense, same magic, and carries the message for the same magic to be repeated. It's almost like a magic spell, because each cell knows that it has to reproduce another cell that is exactly the same as itself. So a hair cell creates another hair cell, while a nail cell creates another nail cell, and a skin cell creates more skin. And all of this happens all the time, every split second of every day of your life, and has been for millions upon millions of years in every human being that ever existed. Everybody is fascinated by magic, which is why there are so many stories about magical beings, men who can fly faster than a speeding bullet and see through brick walls, creatures with wings and claws and fiery breath, or perhaps with the head of an animal and the body of a man. Mythical, ancient creatures who live in the silent depths of the sea or on the slopes of a mountain in a remote corner of our world. And then there's Merlin, with his magician's hat and his magical cape, with the stars and the moon, weaving spells and casting them around him in a dazzling display of light and colour. All these things are magic, and yet, still the most magical thing is your own subconscious, that deep part of your mind, deeper than the deepest ocean, even more magical than Merlin. That part of your mind can actually make the most amazing things happen for you if you wanted to. You only have to tell it exactly what you want to happen, and that powerful subconscious of yours will work its magical spell, as long as you tell it what you want to happen, and not what you're afraid might happen instead. Once your subconscious mind knows what you want to happen, then it can set about making those things a reality. And you can help that along with another sort of magic called hypnosis. You can't see it, you can't touch it, and most of the time it certainly can't be felt, and won't even know it's there. But it works just like magic. Now, I would like you to imagine you're walking along a trail in the mountains, and it's a beautiful warm day. And as you walk along the trail, up the trail, to meet the wise old man who lives in a cave near the top of the mountain, that wise old man who can answer any question, just look at the trail. What does it feel like? What does it look like as the sun shines down on it? Now take a look either side and notice if there's any vegetation growing. Remembering how you feel walking up the trail. And as you look ahead, you see a path leading off to one side. A path that leads you to the clearing and the caves in which the wise old man lives. And as you turn up the path and see how it differs from the trail, looking ahead, you see the path bend slightly. But looking slightly ahead through the trees, you see the first flickering flames of a campfire outside the cave. And as you turn the bend in the path, you get your first clear glimpse of the fire, the clearing, and the mouth of the cave. Walking into the clearing and up to the fire, beside the fire, you find a stack of fuel. And you decide to put some fuel on the fire and sit down by the fire facing the mouth of the cave. In a few moments, the wise old man will leave the cave and walk towards you, giving you the opportunity to observe him closely. But now the fuel that you put on the fire is taking light, and the fire is burning brightly. And the light from the fire is showing up the mouth of the cave. Look and see what you can see inside the wise old man's cave. And now the wise old man walks out of the cave. Observe him as he walks towards you. What does he look like? What kind of clothes does he wear? And as he sits down opposite you, look closely at his face and deep into his eyes. How do you feel about the wise old man? What particular quality about him pleases you most? In a moment, it will be time to put your question to the wise old man. He will answer you in word, gesture, or pictures or feelings. However he chooses to answer you, you understand the answer. So put your question to the wise old man and pay attention to the answer. And if you like, you can ask a second question. Or you can just enjoy a conversation with the wise old man now. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to do something that may seem a little strange, but because it is your imagination, this is possible. What I want you to do now is become the wise old man. What does it feel like being the wise old man and living in a cave near the top of the mountains? How do you spend your life up here in the mountains? And how do you feel about your visitor? Do you have anything else you wish to tell your visitor? If so, tell your visitor now. Okay, become yourself again. And soon it will be time to say goodbye to the wise old man. But before you go, he reaches down into an old leather satchel, fumbles amongst the contents and selects a gift for you. Take that gift now and examine it carefully. What does it look like? Notice what it feels like. Does it have meaning for you? Okay, it's now time to say goodbye to the wise old man and carry your gift with you. And as you go back down the path, looking about you carefully, so you can find your way here again should you wish to get answers from the wise old man who always has answers to any questions. And as you get to where the path meets the trail, stop, and under the moonlight, examine your gift once more. Look carefully. What is this thing chosen especially for you? And just like before, I want you to use your imagination and become that gift now. What does it feel like being this thing? What special qualities do you have for the person you are given to? Okay, become yourself again And as you look at the gift once more, see if it has changed in any way, and then put the gift away very carefully into your memory. And as you come down the trail, bring all those experiences with you, knowing that any time you want to visit this place again and get any questions answered by the wise old man, all you need to do is close your eyes and relax your body and use your imagination to visit this place anytime. So when you are ready, you can bring all the energy back into your body. Just bring all the energy back into your body and bring yourself back to full awareness with new knowledge that you have gained from the wise old man. Bring yourself back to full awareness in your own way, in your own time.